In this video, I want to talk about restraints. I think it's very important to create restraints on our personal work, even if it's something small, like choosing a focal length and staying with the same focal length for a long time. I feel like sometimes people get really messy and they don't really understand what they're working with because they're always trying to change or trying to buy something new, which doesn't really help them all the time. I do understand sometimes you need something different to produce that type of work, and that's completely fair, but it's not for everything. And I think when you're talking about personal work or documentary, it is really important to choose something and stay with it. If you're like on a shoot and you have a subject and you're always thinking, what focal length should I use because I have the zoom lens here, you creating a barrier, you creating something else between you and the process that is not really helping you. Sometimes I feel like our lives, we're so busy, we have so much to think on our days, even on our personal life. You have to go to work, you have your personal friends, you have your family, and you already have too many choices to do it. You don't have to be thinking about choices when it comes to work. It's something that if you think before, if you sit down and you be like, okay, what do I think can help me make this project? What do I think can help me make a better photograph in the long run? I'm not talking here about like sticking with a 35mm for like 2 weeks. I'm talking about like shooting something for a year, for 2 years, even 5 years. I feel like to get really good at something, you have to do over and over and over and over. It's not something that like, oh, I can get a camera. Like me, I'm really bad at longer focal lengths. Like if I get a 75mm, I get really lost because I really like wide scenes. So if I use a 75mm for a week, I'm not gonna be much better at it. I'm gonna have a very simple understanding of that material, but I'm not gonna be creating amazing work on my first week. One thing that I did from the start of my photography, when I start taking photographs, I start taking photographs with black and white film, and since then I've been doing the same thing. I feel like, first of all, I chose to shoot black and white film because it was the cheapest thing, and it's still the cheapest thing, and it's still something that I can afford. But what this helped me was, because I shot so much black and white, nowadays I have a very good understanding of lighting and a very good understanding of what I want to show on my frame, what I need to do on my frame to make this a good photograph. I'm still not there yet. There's still a long way to go, but I can see how much I improve and how much is my understanding of light and grays and what that's gonna be on my photo. So like, even small things, if you choose like color, if you choose a time, if you choose a camera, even locations, even like a person, you can use restraints for so many things. Even if it's something stupid, if you're like, okay, I'm just gonna take photos of people wearing a pink jacket. I know it sounds very stupid, but on a long term, you're gonna have a project. It can matter or not for other people. You're doing this for yourself, but on the long term, you're gonna have a project that you're gonna be cohesive, that you can put it together, that you can create a book, that you can show to people, and people will be like, okay, this makes sense now. Maybe it doesn't make sense when you have like one photo alone, but when you look to your whole body of work, it makes a total sense. So that's why restraints are so important. It's something very personal. Everyone can think of their own restraints and what can help them. Even if you think about the greats, if you think about Henry Cartier, like us at the start, he shot a lot of different focal lengths. Like everyone else, I think when you start something, you're trying. But when you look at his long-term BS projects, a lot of those photographs were shot with the same camera. They were shot with a 50mm. They weren't like, he did not crop those photographs. He believed that cropping a photograph was kind of like cheating. I kind of understand that, but again, all those choices, they're all personal choices, and you can agree or not agree, but when you look at his work, you can see that everything is very cohesive. When you see a photograph from Henry Cartier, you know that this photograph was made by him. Another example of a person that I think is a great photography. When you look at Joseph Koudelka's work, so Koudelka used to go back to the same subjects over and over and over. His projects, they were very long. He would take a very long time to finish the project. And I feel like when you go back to the same house, to the same place several times during like years, you know, those people are gonna get very close to you. They're gonna get very comfortable to you. Sometimes they're not gonna even notice anymore that you're taking photographs because they're like, okay, look, Koudelka is there sitting again with his camera, you know. So I think that's why when you look at his photographs, they're incredible. You know, you can see that like he could really get who those people were. There is no mask, there is nothing in front of them, it's just who they really are. And I think he could not achieve this level of photography if he'd not go back there over and over and over and over. So that's why I'm talking to you about restraints, and that's something that I want to keep doing on my work. I think like having something that I chose before always made it easier for me to work, always made my work better, and always helped me to learn something new. The thing is, I want you to think about the stock as something that you can put on your work to make your life easier. That's why I do this. I just want to make things easier. It's hard enough to get my camera every day and go out to make work. If I make stuff easier, if everything is ready, if I know that I just have to pick that camera, that roll of film, and that focal length, and I know like, okay, for the next few months, I'm just gonna walk up those 3 to 5 streets and I'm gonna try to make work there. Sometimes it's tough, you know, like at the moment I'm suffering because what I chose for now is something really hard for me, something really different to my used to. But I'm sure if I keep doing the same work for 6 months, it's gonna be much easier, and I'm gonna have learned something, and I'm gonna have a body of work, and I'm gonna have learned from those mistakes that I did from the start. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Take photos every day. Thanks for watching.